Greetings and hello. This video is, oh boy, about 25 years ish in the making. However, here we go. Other people around the world have been talking about situations where they've had relationships with otherworldly beings and so forth. Call them by whatever definitions you want. It is as it is. This, for me, in my personal life, just goes back into the latter 1990s, going back to 97. I was in a part of my life where things were very much in transformation. I used to get visitations at night, and it happened a lot. And this isn't some fantasy. This isn't some, well, I heard somebody else was mentioning it, so I'm going to say something. No, this isn't that. It's time now to unload this information as it should be. So back in 97, I used to have a lot of visitations at night while sleeping. I was working bizarre hours, true. However, these appearances of women in the bedroom, sometimes in a hallway, then leading to the bedroom, and then in the morning or later on evening, I would wake up and go to the bathroom, need to go to the bathroom, and the entire room, in fact, a lot of times my entire home had this incredibly strong aroma of sex. It was very dominant aroma of sex, and I felt, my physical body felt like I had went like 8 rounds with this incredible woman. And this situation, well, come on, males, you know the difference between a fantasy and reality. There's some things about the human anatomy after you've had a few rounds, you can feel, you know what I mean. And it was really bizarre, and this happened a lot. And actually starting about March it was in 96, and then going into 97 when it went into big time, and 98. And this went on, these visitations, beautiful women showing up, and it was never anything that was well, you had this great experience, and then you start feeling this darkness lurking around your place, or all these bad things start happening to you, and your situations of life are just falling all apart. It wasn't like that. It was bliss. It was incredible. Hard to put words to it. Orgasmic pleasures of measures. It's just, you just can't put human terms to all the time. And my work was like so abundant and beautiful. Everything for years was just blissful and incredible. And then it phased away a bit, and then came back again in 2002, 2003, 2004. Went away a little bit, but came back in 2006. At that time, I was with a woman in the physical life. I was going to get married, and it was interesting. In 2007, then we got more officially. But it was interesting because shortly after we got married, these women started coming back into my life, manifesting in the evenings. Because, well, you know what happens when you're for some people, when they get married, certain things just stop. They're just not happening anymore. They got the ring on their finger and yada yada. You know what I'm talking about? Come on, you know what I'm talking about. And it was like this a lot of times. So these women were showing back up again, and my actual physical wife would be absolutely furious because she'd wake up and the whole place stank like really heavy sex was going on all night, and it hadn't been with her because, oh, I got a headache. However, this incredible sex, and the wife would wake up and she knows that sniff my hand. She goes, well, your hands don't smell like sex. And no, she'd be sniffing this part of my body. And that's, well, you haven't been doing that stuff with anyone. It's just like, but the entire place would reek. Like there had been sex going on for untold hours with multiples. That much of an aroma. It was incredible. And I actually end up a lot of times sleeping on the couch. However, that didn't stop her because sometimes they still visited me while I was sleeping in the living room on the couch. So this went on, and then that phased out again and didn't start coming back again. See, I had strokes in 2010. It didn't start happening again until about 2000, about mid 2011. And then all these different visitations, this entirely different conversation to have later. All these visitations started happening again, not just with the sensual women, but also with other off-world beings who, some of these beings have been visiting me since I was 13. And it's amazing how easy it is for certain off-world beings with technology and mind abilities, so you forget situations until later on upon your life. But these things are very true. Farmer's honor. And I can actually say that I grew up farming. But these things, just because they're happening, it doesn't mean it was a bad thing. Of course, it also doesn't mean necessarily it was only a good thing, because the parallel here is between the experience and what you were accepting in versus the other education that's crammed down your throat when you're growing up, that this is this and this is this. However, now we're starting to understand that most of the stuff we're growing up is about conditioning us to be good servants, not about how to broaden our minds and how to expand our conscience and environment of our livelihood, but how to be good servants. That so much of this stuff that is finally starting to come out after many decades and thousands of years actually of being hushed, except for you're in small communities in isolation in the world, and then you're allowed to learn these things. But we're having now all this awakening and all this opening up, and people coming forth. And yes, I'm going to come forth. I had tons and tons of different times with women beings would visit me, and we would have some very, very sexual innuendos, all-nighters. However, this is part of a lot of times of a learning experience for us to understand more about ourselves, more about the living multi-dimensional multi-universe, and the fact, as I've been saying in the Ancient Spirit Tralaka videos for a very long time, that this universe, this living universe, is teeming with different variables of life, and has been. It's nothing new. We have never been alone. It's all part of the lie that we're the only ones that the Creator God had created, in all of before time and after time and all these other variables. They try to make the excuses that we're the only ones. It's only conditioning. It's a lie. It is a full lie, because we have never been alone in this living multi-dimensional universe. As Tralaka talks about in the actual videos there, I mention the fact that this universe, this living universe, is always doing a variable of three things. Is creating, maintaining, or dissolving into destruction to rebuild a new matrix in another fashion. It's a continual thing. It has no actual ending, and it has no beginning. Get a grip, get a life. Just understand it and stop trying to put little bookmarks on this and this so you can satisfy yourself without having to think, because it's only hurting yourself. It's only damaging your own, this personal vibration of life experience. All right? This here is Guru Viv. Take care.